Welcome back to Terror and Urban Myths, everyone. Today's story is really something. It's one of those that gets under your skin. You know what I mean? It makes you think, how well can we ever really know the people closest to us? Like even family. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this episode a like if you find it interesting.
Yeah, it's a reminder that sometimes the greatest dangers aren't the obvious ones, like in dark alleys or whatever, that they can be hidden right there at home.
Right, where you feel safest.
Exactly.
And that's what we're looking at today, a case called A Mother's Deadly Secret.
Just the title is enough to give you chills, right?
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's a story full of manipulation, control, and ultimately a terrible tragedy. We're going to try and untangle it all for you.
It's a web of deception, really.
It all starts with two sisters, Mary and Ashley. Their lives change drastically after their father dies.
Leaving them with their mother, who seems to be overly protective at first.
Yeah, and that's where things start to get a little strange.
Yeah.
Right from the beginning, the mother's behavior is just a little off.
What starts as concern for her daughter slowly turns into something much darker.
Yeah, it becomes this suffocating environment. The mother controls everything in their lives, especially their contact with the outside world.
The outside world is like this dangerous, almost mythical place to the girls. Yeah. They're constantly being told about all these threats and dangers.
So they end up completely dependent on their mother.
Right.
Trapped.
Exactly. So Mary, the older sister, she decides to escape.
She just couldn't take it anymore.
It was a brave move. She had to get out of there.
Leaving Ashley behind, though.
That's the heartbreaking part. But years go by, and Mary, she builds a new life.
She falls in love, even gets engaged.
But she can't forget about Ashley back in that terrible situation.
You can't just erase family like that. It's always there.
Those years were so different for each sister Mary, growing and experiencing the world while Ashley is trapped.
So after 3 years, Mary decides to go back home, hoping to see Ashley again. Maybe even offer her a way out.
Hoping for a reunion.
Right. Yeah, but it doesn't go anything like she planned. When she arrives home, it's like a completely different world.
It's bizarre, this whole emphasis on sterility and fear.
Yeah, there's this disinfection room. You have to change your clothes. It's way more than just being clean.
It's all about control, making sure everyone follows the mother's rules.
And the reason for all this? Ashley's supposedly very sick. Some mysterious illness that requires her to be isolated and kept away from germs.
This illness is how the mother justifies everything. It lets her keep Ashley away from anyone who could help.
Makes sense. But Ashley doesn't look good. She's frail and weak. Nothing like the girl Mary remembers.
She's like a shadow of her former self. And it's all an act, a performance by the mother.
So Mary's stuck in this strange new reality, trying to connect with her sister. But it's tough, right? Things just don't add up.
Exactly. The cracks start to show. The mother's behavior is getting weirder, her explanations about the illness less believable.
Enter Mary's fiancé, Mike. He's a nurse, so he knows something's not right with Ashley.
He's a threat to the mother's plan. He can see through the lies.
He suggests taking Ashley to a doctor, which you'd think would be a normal reaction.
But the mother loses it, completely shuts down any talk of outside help.
You can see how this is going to get really bad.
The truth always has a way of coming out, one way or another.
So now Mary's really starting to get suspicious, right? I mean, the whole illness thing, the isolation, and her mother's crazy reactions. It all seems like something much worse is going on.
Yeah, it's classic gaslighting. Where the victim starts to doubt their own sanity. It's what the mother is doing to Ashley, isolating her, controlling everything she sees and hears, and twisting reality to keep her under control.
And then things get even weirder. Mary starts feeling sick herself. Dizzy headaches, weak. All the same symptoms Ashley is supposed to have.
That's when things take a really dark turn. The mother isn't satisfied with just Ashley. She's now targeting Mary, trying to trap her in this fake illness too.
Wait, so you're saying Mary's own mother could be making her sick, but why would she do that?
It sounds like Munchausen syndrome by proxy. It's a mental health condition where usually a mother makes up or even causes an illness in someone they're taking care of. It's all about getting attention and sympathy.
Munchausen syndrome by proxy. So she's not actually trying to kill them, just making them sick to feel important or something.
Right. It's this need for control and attention. The caregiver gets to be the hero, the one who understands and takes care of the sick child.
But why actually poison them? Wouldn't it be easier to just fake the symptoms or exaggerate things? Why go that far?
Because it makes her role even stronger. By making them actually sick, she becomes the only one who can really help them. It's a way to isolate them even further and make them completely dependent on her.
That's just messed up. Using your own children's health to feed some kind of twisted emotional need, it's hard to even wrap your head around it.
It shows how blurred the lines between love and control can be. The mother actually thinks she's protecting her daughters from a dangerous world. But in reality, she's the one who's created that danger.
And of course, things just keep getting worse from there.
Oh. Unfortunately, yes. This is where things escalate from just manipulation and control to actual violence and murder.
Oh, man. Okay, so what happened?
Well, Ashley tries to help Mary by giving her one of her own pills. Just a simple act of kindness, right? But the mother completely freaks out.
She must have known she was caught, right?
Exactly. She forces Ashley to throw up, trying to get rid of any trace of the pill. It's pretty clear evidence that she's been poisoning them, and she's terrified of being exposed.
Wow. So then what? Does Mary figure it out?
She finds this weird white residue in her teacup later. It confirms her worst fear. Her own mother has been putting something in her drinks.
So now she knows the truth. But what can she do? Her fiancé Mike is on his way over.
And unfortunately, he walks right into the trap. He has no idea what's going on.
He arrives, and the mother insists he goes through the whole disinfection routine. Like always.
Mike is a threat to her control, so he becomes the next target.
This is so sad. He has no clue what he's walking into.
Not a chance. He takes a shower, and soon after he starts choking. Can't breathe. The poison is working.
Oh, God. And Mary has to just watch as her fiancé dies.
Mike's death changes everything. It goes from psychological torture to actual murder. There's no going back from this.
The mother doesn't even care, right? She just dumps his body in the greenhouse.
It's chilling. She shows no remorse at all, just drags him away like he's nothing.
I can't imagine what Mary must have been going through at that moment. Seeing the man she loves die, knowing her own mother did it.
It's a turning point for sure. The greenhouse, which is supposed to be full of life and growth, becomes a tomb. It's like a symbol of how the mother has twisted everything beautiful into something dark and deadly.
Yeah, I get it. So Mary tries to tell Ashley what's happening, to warn her that their mother is dangerous. But doesn't go well, does it?
After years of brainwashing, Ashley can't accept it. She refuses to believe her own mother could do such a thing. Her reality is so warped by the mother's lies that the truth just seems impossible.
But the truth always has a way of coming out right.
That's right. And in this case, it comes out in a violent way. The mother snaps. She attacks Mary, trying to strangle her, to silence her forever.
I bet that was a wake-up call for Ashley, seeing her own sister being attacked.
It was. Finally, the truth breaks through all those years of manipulation. She sees her mother for who she really is.
So what does Ashley do? Does she just stand there and watch?
No. In that moment, she makes a choice that will change everything. She picks up a knife and faces her mother. She chooses to protect her sister and fight for their freedom.
So they make a run for it, right? Get out of that house.
They have to. It's their only chance.
But it's not over yet, is it? The mother's not just going to let them go.
Of course not. She's furious. She wants control back, so she chases after them. Can't imagine even letting them out of her sight.
This is like straight out of a horror movie. The sisters running for their lives and their own mother hunting them down.
It's like all those years of mental and emotional control all coming to a head. It's their fight for freedom, for the right to live their own lives.
And then it all ends in a car crash, right?
A terrible crash orchestrated by the mother. One last attempt to get them back.
I can't believe she would risk killing them. And herself.
It shows how far gone she was. Completely lost in her delusion. She couldn't let them go.
But they survived the crash, right?
They're injured but alive. The mother pulls them from the wreckage.
You'd think maybe this is where it turns around. Maybe she finally snaps out of it.
But no. This is where it gets really disturbing. The mother takes them to a field. Like a peaceful place.
Oh, God. This isn't going to end well, is it?
It's the final act of her madness. She really believes she's doing the right thing.
She poisons them, right?
She puts poisonous flowers in their mouths. She's going to kill them and herself. It's a twisted kind of love, a way to keep them with her forever.
I was afraid of that. It's just so sad.
Mm.
All three of them dead. A family destroyed by this woman's mental illness.
It's a horrific example of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, and sadly, it's not that uncommon. These cases often end in tragedy. Either the victim dies or the perpetrator takes their own life and the victim's.
It makes you wonder, could anyone have stopped this? Were there signs that people missed? Could those girls have been saved?
It's hard to say for sure. But it does show how important it is to be aware, to trust your gut if something feels wrong, and to speak up if you think someone's being abused. We can't just stay silent.
That's a powerful message. We can't be afraid to get involved. It might be uncomfortable, but it could save a life.
Absolutely. Silence can be deadly. If you see something, you have to say something.
Well, this has been a really heavy one. A mother's deadly secret. It's a reminder that evil can hide anywhere, even in the people we trust the most.
And a reminder that mental illness is real, and it can have devastating consequences. We need to be talking about it more, making sure people get the help they need.
If you or someone you know is experiencing any kind of abuse, please reach out for help. There are resources available. You don't have to suffer in silence.
There's always hope, and there are people who want to help.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Terror and Urban Myths. And as always, please subscribe to the podcast and give us a like if you found this episode thought-provoking. We'll be back soon with more stories that delve into the dark side of human nature. Until then, stay safe out there.